The evolution model begins, this model they used Haeckel's embryos to substantiate, begins with 7 assumptions, none of which have ever been observed in the field or demonstrated in the laboratory. Evolution begins with 7 assumptions. Number 1, that non-living elements gave rise to living material, but they've never been able to demonstrate that, observe it or demonstrate it. That spontaneous generation occurred only once. Let's talk about that for a moment. That life arose from non-living material, spontaneous generation. But they hold to the idea that it occurred only once. For 2 reasons. First of all, it is so impossible for it to occur. So absolutely impossible. For instance, let me just give you one figure. Inside a living cell, there are proteins. Now the DNA is so incredibly complex, but let's forget that for a moment. Inside a living cell are over 60,000 specific proteins in over 100 specific configurations. Not just the proteins there, but they have to be specifically arranged. You don't get the A mixed with a Z and the T mixed with the R. They have to be specifically arranged. The odds that just those proteins in a living cell could configure in that specific arrangement, and it has to occur fast. I don't know where you're going to get the proteins real fast out of nothing, but let's give them the proteins for a moment, for sake of argument. It has to occur very fast, because if it doesn't occur fast, it begins to biodegrade, and in a matter of hours or days at the most, it's gone. So what are the scientific odds? This is from the technical literature. 1 chance in 10 to the 4,478,296 power. David Bassett, I'm sure you'll affirm that every time you add a 0 to that power, every time you multiply it by 10. So what's that again? 1 chance in 10 to the 4,478,296 power. That means it's absolutely impossible. So the evolutionists say, okay, it appears to be impossible, but it occurred once. How do you know? Well, here we are. That's the best argument they have. I used to be an evolutionist. I understand how they think. That's the best evidence. Well, here we are, so that's the only way you can get here. Well, how do you know that's the only way you can get here? Because you can't let a divine foot in the door, remember? You just rule him out by definition. But don't worry, he's here already. He makes himself known. He overcame my objections. Amen. He overcame me, and that's a pretty big obstacle. So, number 1, they really hold to this spontaneous generation occurred only once, because it's so impossible for it to occur. But there's another reason why they hold to that. If spontaneous generation could occur again, you'd have little green monsters all over the place. Ladies, your vacuum sweepers couldn't get them all out of the carpet at your house. Life would just be appearing everywhere. I mean, that's new life. Oh, I'm going to lose my arm. That's a new life form. If spontaneous generation could occur like that, it would, and we would be in difficulty. So, all right, I better hurry to get the rest of this in. Number 3, viruses, bacteria, plants, and animals are all related. Number 4, single-celled life forms gave rise to multiple-celled life forms. Oh, really? There's no scientific information for that whatsoever. But all of these things must be true for evolution to be true, not just one of them. Various invertebrate phyla are all related. Invertebrates gave rise to vertebrates. Fish gave rise to amphibians, to reptiles, to birds, to mammals, to primates, to man. All of that must all be true for evolution to occur, but not one of these tenets has ever been demonstrated to be true.